I Love Mortgage Brokering, episode 68.
Want to learn from the top 5% of mortgage brokers in the country? Then you have come to the right place. Join Scott Peckford on I Love Mortgage Brokering.
Hi, Broker Nation. I am thrilled to introduce our guest today, Joe Facciolo, co-founder of Gusto. It's a mobile gifting platform that allows you to send food and drinks to your clients as thank yous. I was introduced to Gusto from Zach Silverman, who told me that he's been using it in his business to say thanks to realtors. I love it. I started using it. And I thought, hey, man, I think more brokers should use this. So I reached out to Joe. I said, hey, can we do a chat about what you're doing and how we can help brokers? And he said, let's do it. So, Joe, I'm stoked about this interview. You ready to rock?
Absolutely. Scott, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and your business?
For sure. So I am 33 years young. I'm an Ontario import and have been on the west coast of Canada, kind of Whistler, Vancouver area, since 2008. And yeah, Gusto is my second venture. So basically what it is, it's for busy people who need to strengthen relationships. And like you said, it's a mobile gifting app and platform, and it allows you to send food and drinks. So basically what we've done is we've taken the idea of picking up the tab at lunch for a client or, buying a referral or a friend a pint of beer and allow you to do it from anywhere. So, unlike maybe a plastic gift card, a Gusto gift is instant. It's a thoughtful product like a bottle of wine or dessert. And the nice thing is it's super, super flexible. So it can be redeemed at any of our partner restaurants. We have about 1,300 locations in 250 cities across the country. We work with great brands like The Keg, Moxie's, Milestones, Cactus Club, Joey's, and lots more. And a final piece, we're a purpose-driven company. We donate 1 day of clean drinking water for every gift that's sent through the platform.
That's cool. And so what did you do? We're going to get into the app and how it works and how brokers can use it in a couple minutes. But before you got into the app building business, what did you do?
Yeah. So like I said, I moved to Western Canada in 2008. And the reason was to start a business. So my business partner and I were actually old friends. We moved to Whistler and started a tour company called Whistler Tasting Tours. And basically what it is progressive dining. So, we bring groups to different restaurants. Each course happens at a different location. So it's really fun, nice way to explore the dining scene. And it's still operating. But right now my focus is Gusto. And so that's been a great experience, and it kind of led me to Gusto. But yeah, that's kind of my life prior to what I'm doing now. Before
we dive into your story, I always like to ask every guest about a success quote that's had an impact on their life or business. Can you share a quote that's really impacted you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually by a gentleman named Frank Herbert. He's a science fiction writer, but it really resonated with me when I was young or younger, and it's kind of stuck with me since. So bear with me; it's a little bit long, but yeah, again, it's something that's it's been a good piece for me. Anyway, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will let it pass through me and over me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear is gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain.
So that's a great quote, so how fear is definitely something that everybody deals with in business entrepreneurs, because you're kind of, you're blazing a new path. So can you share an example of something where you've applied that recently to your business or your life? That idea?
I've absolutely applied it to my life. And like I said, it's just something that resonated with me. And, I've often actually used it as a strategy for coping with maybe a stressful situation. Maybe I had to deliver a speech or just some time when, I could kind of feel fear kind of rushing in, and, maybe that would hold me back. And, I'd take a moment, pause, recite that in my mind, and it would kind of help me through that situation.
Right. Yeah, that's good. It's definitely, there's always going to be uncertainty. And so it's figuring out how do you step into it and not let it derail you or prevent you from taking action.
Totally. I mean, fear for me personally was a roadblock when I was younger. And, if you let fear stop you, you're not even starting,
Mm-hmm.
And so, now I try and embrace fear. I try to do things that scare me, and it's working through that has been a huge driver in the successes in my life for sure.
Right. So give an example of something that you're kind of like, hey, this scares me a little bit, but I'm going to go do it, that you've done recently.
Yeah, I mean, just recently I've been pitching a lot. I've been in front of a number of large crowds. With Gusto, I've had the opportunity to speak in front of crowds of 400 or 500 people, and it becomes easier and easier as you go, but it's never just easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always a little bit scary, and yeah, I mean, I would say that, just in the last couple of months, I've had to kind of deliver 4 or 5 pitches or speeches in front of large crowds. And, it can always be a little bit daunting for sure.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. So I want to ask about failure, because I know as you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, and failure happens, but it's never fatal. And looking back, there's always a lesson. So can you share an example of something that you'd failed at, but now looking back, there was a lesson for you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I can think about sort of a monumental failure. Now, that said, I fail all the time, every day. It could be something as simple as like a sales call that I didn't execute very well, maybe a product decision that flopped, or, maybe I'd misprioritized something. Now, in the last year, I've had the opportunity to be around some really successful people. And, it was reiterated last weekend, Gusto, a little shameless plug here, but we were named a top 5 BC tech startup by Metabridge, and we were invited to Kelowna. It was a pretty great and exclusive event. And, a common theme is that failure is normal. It's expected. And so, I mean, really the lesson for me is that if you're not failing, you're not trying. Mm-hmm. So it's totally okay to fail. And, you fail, you iterate, you try again. You'll probably fail in a different way. You iterate, you try again until you find success.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. That's awesome. So now we'll chat about, I want to talk about the app. And so where did the idea come from for Gusto?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of came in a few different ways. Some of it was life and some of it was professionally. So in my 20s, I had the opportunity to travel a lot and work abroad. And through that, I, made a lot of friends and built relationships. And, some of the seed for Gusto was, how can we create an easy way to maintain or build those relationships that have been made really easily? And so part of it is, often relationship building surrounds breaking bread or having a drink with someone or
mm-hmm.
dining out. But how can I do that when I'm not there in person? And so that was part of the seed. Another part was through our experience with Whistler tasting tours. Early days, we were spending a lot of time in restaurants. And so we would often see, someone call a restaurant and try and do something nice for a client who might be seated at a table, or a friend. They can't be there in person, but they want to do something nice, like send a bottle of wine over or have drinks. There's a lot of friction with that.
Mm-hmm.
Total pain. Here's my credit card and here's the name. And so through seeing that, as well as through our experience, that was kind of the idea, the seed for Gusto. How can we take that idea of, treating someone, doing something nice, thanking someone, and making it insanely easy?
So, and how does the app work? I know I've used it, and it is super simple for anybody who doesn't use it, but maybe just in your words, let's say I want to send my client a bottle of wine for doing business with them. What does that look like?
Yeah, like you said, it's really easy. And that was the idea. Like, it is simple. So, you literally pick your item. So, maybe I want to send someone a glass of wine. You would select glass of wine. There's only 10 choices. Like I said, it's really flexible. So if you want to pick the restaurant for somebody, you can. But most people that use the app actually let the gift recipient select the restaurant. So you can kind of choose to do that. You would then set the value of the gift really easily. There's like a slider bar. Gifts range from $10 to $200. You choose anyone from your contacts. Then you would add a personal message if you want, and a photo if you want. And that's it. You just confirm your credit card details and you send it off. And the gift recipient will receive a text message or an email. Mm-hmm. They'll just click the link. It'll launch the gift, and they present it to their server at the restaurant for redemption.
Okay, and then the restaurant, like, there's some way electronically the money moves and such, right? It's not. I don't. Yeah. How does it? Yeah, I don't need to. Actually, yeah. How does that work in a very? I don't need to know the deep parts of it, but simplistically, how does it? What's happening?
For redemption.
Yeah. So on the redemption, how do people redeem it? So what does it look like? Is it they just scan their phone? Do they have a code they write in? Like, what's the?
Yeah, there's a barcode, and below the barcode is a code. So if a restaurant has a barcode scanner, they can scan the code. If they don't, they just take the number associated with the gift. It's right under the barcode. They would punch it into their point of sale, and that's it. It literally debits from the bill. So it's really, really easy.
Right. And can you share an example of a cool way people are using your app that you're aware of?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of people use it, like I said, as a relationship building tool. So maybe you meet someone new and you think, hey, they could be a great person to stay connected with. They probably have a big network and they could potentially be a great referral source for us. Or for me. So, we're seeing people use it kind of like as a follow-up tool. Hey, really nice to meet you. Here's a drink on me. Let's catch up again sometime. So we're seeing that kind of use case all the time, where it's a nice kind of follow-up piece. You don't have to spend a lot of money, $10, $12, here's a drink, but it still comes off as really thoughtful. So yeah, we're seeing that being done quite regularly.
One of the cool things that happens that I've discovered from using the app is that when somebody actually uses their coupon, they send you a note saying, hey, it lets you know that it's redeemed. So I can look on my phone and see which ones have not been redeemed. And I can send them a reminder. So that's kind of cool. If they haven't actually used it, you let them know, hey, you still got this gift thing you can use, which you can't do with a gift card. And then the other cool thing is they reply to you when they actually use the thing. And then you get, it's another point of connection or relationship building with that client or that person.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we added this thank you message piece relatively recently, and it was really by feedback from people that used it. It was kind of, hey, we'd love to know right away, when the gift recipient receives and, adds the gift to their account, so to speak. So yeah, we decided to add this thank you message that we mandate gift recipients kind of write in something, and it's sent back, it's emailed back, as well as it's kind of it lives inside the app, so that you kind of have that comfort knowing that the gift has been received and and appreciated.
Right. Yeah, no, it's totally awesome. This came to me from Zach Silverman, who's a mortgage broker at the coast, and he was telling me about, because he works in a real estate office, and how do you say thank you in an easy way? And so he uses this as a way to communicate thanks to his realtors when they send him a referral. But the other thing that he's used it for, which was totally sweet, which I did just literally today, is I had a client kind of got a bit confusing at the lawyer's office, got messy. And so just shoot them a bottle of wine, say, hey, look, you know what? I know it's been a little bit more confusing than we were hoping, but have a bottle of wine on us. And it's a really easy way to say thanks, or to that, otherwise I got to put something in the mail, or it's not as user friendly.
For sure. And, we see a lot of realtors, a lot of mortgage brokers using the app. And, they're very much relationship businesses, and building relationships can take time. And you don't always have time to kind of go out and get something, a gift card, a gift basket or whatever. It's just really time consuming. So this is really a great, easy, but still thoughtful way to create touch points with people that are important. And maybe it's a referral, or maybe you need to thank somebody. Maybe someone, went the extra mile for you. There's all sorts of use cases, but, we're seeing that people who live and work in the professional world, who need to create touch points, they're in sales, it's a really effective tool for them.
Cool. And so when we chatted before, I said, hey, can we come up with some kind of, awesome little program for the people who listen to our podcast, which thank you guys for everybody that's listening. And so tell us about what that looks like, what you've come up with.
Yeah, sure. So happy to offer your listeners a bit of a promo. It's just a $5 promo that'll get you kind of started using the app, so you can check it out. But basically, you just go through the flow of sending a gift. It's really easy. When you get to the last little page, it says send gift, and beside that, there's a little button that says promo. In there, just tap the promo button and put Scott as the promo code, and the value of the code will just be applied to the gift. So really, really easy, and if you want to check it out, we'll give you a little love on Gusto.
That's awesome. We really appreciate it. And so, but it's SCOTT. If anybody listening, it's not with a 1T or a K or anything. Which I know a Scott with a K, and he listens to this podcast, so I'm giving a shout out to him right now. But he's probably one of the only Scots with a K in the country. So it's SCOTT and
Canadian.
Yeah, or something. And so I really appreciate that you're doing this for us. And guys, if you're listening, I know that people are tuning into the show. Definitely go check this thing out. It's totally sweet. It's an easy way to say thank you. You literally can do it right from your phone. And and you get this cool little promo that you'll be able to apply right away. So send one to somebody right now. So last thing I want to ask you about, which I really appreciate your time on this, but so you're obviously in the app building business. You're in the tech world. You probably don't have a fax number, do you?
Oddly, we do for Whistler tasting tours, and some of our sales agents are still archaic and use fax. So we have an electronic fax that fax to our email, but only by necessity.
And well, you just before we got on the call, you were telling me how you didn't have a landline anymore. So, I mean, you're ahead of the tech curve than me. So is there another app that you absolutely love that you guys use? That's not your app. We're gonna give you guys lots of love, but another app that you love. Gusto. That's not Gusto. What's something that you love to use maybe that could be useful for mortgage brokers?
Yeah, well, I'll name two actually. One is more of a personal one, and one is the productivity piece. And you've probably heard it, but I use Evernote all the time. I find Evernote super handy. It's a productivity tool. It's insanely easy and flexible. So, wherever I am, if I need to make notes about something, I just drop it into my Evernote, and then it imports onto my computer, my laptop. So if I'm, out in the field, so to speak, and I need to make some notes, and then I'm back in the office and I load up my Evernote, it all syncs. I can drop files in, PDFs, like anything. It's really cool and really easy. And, if you want to share those notes with someone, you can do that really easily as well. So I really like Evernote for a productivity standpoint. And then just more on a personal side, when I want to lock into a project, I'll often listen to music. So I use Hype Machine really regularly, and I kind of to tune out the world and lock into something. Hype Machine, something I use.
Hype Machine, what is that? I have never heard. I've heard of Evernote, but this is
it's a music streaming app. It's like $2 or $3, but then music is free, and it's just a kind of a cool way to keep up with music. I really love music, so Hype Machine.
Hype. I thought you said hype as in I was like, okay, hype, that makes more sense. I'm like, how does Hype Machine translate into music? But hype, HYPE. So
and it's only available for iPhone, I think. So Android users, you're out of luck.
Right. Well, hey, I really appreciate your time today. Anybody listening can go to ilovemortgagebrokering.com and they can get show notes, links to Gusto. They'll have the promo code in there, as well as to Hype Machine and the other stuff that we talked about. Joe, man, I really appreciate your time, and I hope you absolutely crush it with this business, and I hope lots of brokers get on board and start using it.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, really appreciate it. Happy to be on, and love check out Gusto. Check out gusto.com, and if you want to get in touch with me anytime, I'm always happy to chat. If you have feedback or suggestions on how we can make the tool better, you're welcome to email me directly, joe@gusto.com. Happy to chat.
Thanks, Joe.
Want to learn from the top 5 mortgage brokers in the country? Then you have come to the right place. Join Scott Peckford on I Love Mortgage Brokering.
Hey, Broker Nation, Scott Peckford here. Have you joined our VIP club for mortgage brokers yet? If not, you're missing out. We share exclusive content not available on the web or the show. We share scripts, step-by-step guides, and other insider tips to help you save time and make you more money. I can't tell you how many times after I turn off the recorder, a guest starts sharing some awesome advice or a script or a tip, and I take the best of this and share it with my VIPs. If you want to get on the list, visit ilovemortgagebrokering.com/VIP. That's ilovemortgagebrokering.com/VIP. Oh, and one other thing. Since this is exclusively for mortgage brokers, there is a skill testing question. Good luck, and I hope you continue to rock your mortgage biz.